Thank you so very much for your time. And if you just joined us, Enterprise Weekend, it is reaching you from Enterprise Television. Straight to our conversation for today. Tokunbo Wahab defended Lagos State planned a monthly environmental sanitation exercise, rejecting claims by Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour that it is parochial and ineffective. Wahab clarified that the exercise is not a city-wide shutdown, but a request for residents to spend 2 hours monthly cleaning their surroundings, emphasizing it is a civic duty rather than a disruption. He explained that the initiative promotes environmental awareness, drainage maintenance, community ownership enforcement, and better waste habits. Wahab stressed that it complements, not replaces, the broader waste management reforms already underway, such as restriction on single-use plastics, waste-to-energy projects, and recycling initiatives, while agreeing that systemic improvement in waste collection and disposal are essential. Wahab argued that infrastructure alone cannot succeed without citizen cooperation. He warned against poor practices like dumping refuse in drains, linking such behavior to issues like flooding. Wahab also criticized opponents for dismissing the exercise without proposing alternatives, maintaining that behavioral change is key to achieving cleaner Lagos. Now let's get talking on some of the things happening. But just before we get into that, I love to draw a comparison here. And the next video you would see now, of course, Emeka is still here with us. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for your time. We truly do appreciate you as always. And so before we get into discussion, Emeka, I would love you to watch this particular excerpt. It's from Cotonou in Benin Republic, just to help us understand how other leaders treat their environments.
If you don't have money to go to USA, that's come to USB. United States of Benin Republic. Look at view, look at view, look at police outside, everywhere is fine, everywhere is melodious. Oh my grandpa, everybody is going solemnly.
This is why I'm not going back to Nigeria. This is why I said I'm not going back to Nigeria. Look at this road. Just look at Pico, my Benin husband, where you dey? My Cotonou husband, come and carry me. See road now. The Republic has one of the neatest roads in Africa. I no lie. If you think
right.
I'm...
So that is a little excerpt of what Cotonou in Benin Republic looks like. Same sub-Saharan Africa. I would love to believe same climate, same kind of environment that we find ourselves. But the difference between Cotonou and Lagos is the leaders that govern every jurisdiction there. You can see a Nigerian there saying that if you do not have money to go to America, come to Cotonou. And another Nigerian equally stating that where is her Cotonou/Benin husband, because the community, the society looks serene as against what we see in Lagos, despite the fact that Lagos economy is 7 times bigger than that of Benin. Quite so sad. Emeka, I would love you to speak to me on this issue. Do you think that Lagos is overhyped? The sort of leaders we have that have run Lagos, at least let's even start from 1999 up until today, are just people who are just full of themselves, thinking that they are leading the people without doing anything when compared to other cities around them.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. I didn't get it, please. Repeat it.
So the question is, I actually allowed for an excerpt that showed the difference between Cotonou, how clean it is, as against what we have in Lagos. So the question is, do you think that leaders in Lagos from 1999 are overhyped, who think that they are doing an awesome job, not knowing they have done below par, when you compare to what leaders in Cotonou, Benin, are doing and making their countries look more like a Western country? What's your take?
No, you see, like it is said, cleanliness is next to godliness. You know, cleanliness begins from the individual. I mean, if you keep your space clean, if you keep yourself clean, it will, it will project to everywhere, to wherever you are, whatever you do, your office, your home, your living spaces, your business spaces. So the thing is that, yes, you expect the government to keep the environment clean. That is correct, because that is part of municipal responsibilities. Yes, but again, it also has to do with the individuals, because there was a time when Lagos was one of the top cities in the world in terms of its environmental appeal. But you see, these things are the level of the municipal government. That is at the level of the local governments. You know, if Lagos has 20 local governments and 37 LCDs, if they can be serious with the responsibility of keeping the environment clean, they are actually making money from it. For instance, look at what the chairman of Agege local government is doing. The chairman of Agege local government, is it Fad or Obasa, is a pace setter. He's doing a lot in terms of cleaning up the environment and all of that. If they do theirs, you will see that the state, will regain its rightful place as a very clean environment. All politics is local, and the same thing, sanitation is local. The local is the responsibility of the local government, not the state government. It's even not the mark of, a progressive society to shut down the whole state for 2 hours of environmental sanitation. It's a big indictment, an indictment on the people, that the state government has become so exasperated that the people have become they now feel at home with filth. They now feel at home with living in sanitary environments. And you can't expect the governor to leave his home, to leave his official residence, to come and tell you to clean up your environment. It ought to be, we were taught in schools, primary schools, that we should keep our environment clean. It is not something that, you start teaching in adulthood. So the people themselves should actually begin to develop sanitary habits. Then the other thing too is that, Lagos is the most populated conurbation in Nigeria. You have over 22 million people in Lagos. And so, refuse is produced, on a rapid basis. So what it means is that the government should continue to refine the ways it handles things like refuse. It has load stations, it has those incinerators and all of that. Yes, the government is doing well in terms of yes, all of those things. Providing those things, but it's not something you just sit down, and just expect that all your efforts are yielding results. You must not lose sight of the ball. You must not let the ball drop, and you need to continue to upgrade your refuse management. It is very, very important. So I'll commend the state government at least for making refuse management a top priority. Yes, Cotonou, maybe whatever it is, clean and all that. Yes, but there are still some. If you remember Governor Ikeda Hakim in Imo State, he came in with a mantra that Owerri, the state capital, had to be clean. And I traveled to Owerri then. It was so clean. So clean. And there are some places in Nigeria that are clean. So if you have leaders who prioritize good sanitary habits, of course you will see the results.
But
so let's just hope.
But do you think Sanwo-Olu has tried in that regards as compared to people that were there before him?
He's doing his best. And don't forget that the population between when Bola Tinubu was the governor and now that Sanwo-Olu is the governor, the population has increased. And so, but efforts are being made. Efforts are on. Loading stations, incinerating stations, the PSP, Loma, but they had issues because with the PSP, the private sector participation, because people were not paying. And that's a major problem we have in Nigeria. Communal responsibility is still a big problem in Nigeria. People don't want to pay for anything. I mean, if they had their way, they will just live for free. I mean, this entitlement mentality, we need to do away with it. We need to know that people must be responsible for keeping the environment where they live clean. Yes, we say the economy is bad. Yes, we say jobs are scarce. Yes, we'll say purchasing power is low. Yes, but the point is this. Are we now going to wallow in a field like a pig because the economy is bad? The answer is no. If we do that, the health, our health will be in jeopardy. So both the government and the people must do better. Yes, Sanwo-Olu has been trying to manage the failure of the PSP, but it's not been easy. It's not been easy. I hope that somehow they can get around the efficiencies of that system and keep it, because cleanliness, Lagos, I mean, the cleanliness of Lagos, the environmental state of Lagos is non-negotiable. It's something that is non-negotiable, and it must be done. And I hope all states, like in Anambra State, there was a circular to all community leaders, presidents of presidents general of all the 177 communities in Anambra State. They were told that today that they should mobilize their people for desilting and clearing of drainages. So this thing should build down in communities, the barless, the traditional rulers, the community development associations. It should not just be a governmental thing. It should drill down to the people. I mean, every Thursday you shut the market for a few hours, to clean up the markets. Yes, but at the end of the day, why are the markets still filled? Why does government still have to periodically shut down the markets? So it shows that more innovative thinking needs to come in. They need to look at what other countries are doing. In terms of managing their waste, and things like that. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Emeka. But just before we wind down for today, there's this other part of cleanliness that we tend to overlook, and that is human pollution. Emeka, if you go around the major hubs in Lagos, especially blue and black spots, you see mendicants all over the place. You see people with mental challenges, active, toxic mental challenges parading the whole streets. It's quite sad. How do you think that the Lagos State government can take care of, number one, mendicants, beggars, then number two, mentally challenged persons that are all around the place? Remember, some of these persons are unconscious. They don't even know what they're doing because of their health situation. How do you think the Lagos State government can better handle this such that it doesn't look like an eyesore to a modern city in 2026?
Yeah, part of the problem is that politicians use some of these people for, unhelpful purposes. So they just give them some money, give them some food, and send them, on the errands that are undignifying. Then what needs to be done is that the state government needs to, first of all, let me commend the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab. He has been doing a lot in terms of reading the streets of such people, in terms of reading the streets, reading train stations, bus stops, markets.
But Emeka, they keep returning back. They keep finding their way back. So I don't think he's solving the issue. He takes them from one location, redirect them to another location, and they come back like twice the number.
Well, you see, that's part of the problem of managing a conurbation in a metropolis with such a large population of 22 million people. Lagos is a small place. It's the smallest state in Nigeria. It's a very small place. So managing such people, such a number of people, it can be daunting. But I think that if the state government really means business, they can actually move some of these people away from Lagos. I mean, although, well, you see like Ogun State or your state, you see people moving to those states, to find cheaper accommodation. But people who are ill or so, I mean, they should be taken to the hospital.
Yeah.
It should not just be about performative arts. I mean, you don't use their health challenges, as political tools. Like you said, they keep coming back. Where are they coming back from? You cannot keep people in custody beyond 48 hours, according to what the law says. You can't lawfully keep somebody in custody beyond 48 hours. So even if you take them to the mobile court, what are you going to charge them with? Is it wandering? Is it creating an environmental nuisance? And they're going to tell you that they're economically displaced. They are economically disempowered. So they've not been able to get jobs that will enable them to have resources to afford a decent accommodation and leave the streets. So it's a complex situation. And the resources, the resources available, have to go to different needs. You can see how the federal government has been borrowing left, right, and center, trying to create economic opportunities, so that money can circulate. But you see, it is sad. It is sad because, I mean, look at the oil we talk about. I mean, just maybe 1.5 million barrels per day, for a population of 230 million people. Of course, we've not started, we're not going anywhere. Then look at the insecurity in the country. Those things, that consumes a lot of money that should go into health, social welfare, security. I mean, a lot of the money is being diverted to security, and this money that should go to welfare, that should go to health, that should go to education, that should go to waste management. So which is it's part of the problem. It's part of the problem. The resources are scarce. Resources are scarce. We may say, yes, Nigeria is not a poor country. Nigeria is a resource-rich country of poor people, of millions of poor people. Because the World Bank, for instance, says if you are not spending at least $3 a day on yourself, that you are poor. Then there is this idea that if you don't have 100 million naira in your bank account, that you are not among the high net worth individuals. But sincerely speaking, 100 million naira cannot buy you, a property in any high net worth area.
Yeah.
Million naira can buy you a property in any high net worth area.
Yeah.
In Lagos, Abuja, or Port Harcourt. So you see, these are the contradictions. These are the contradictions we have. But we hope that somehow the economy will get better, so that there will be more economic opportunities, and then there will be fewer people on the streets. Part of the problem too is
I think we lost Emeka there. He was speaking to the issue of the government doing what it has to do to ensure that the cleanliness becomes part of the society. But how much of that would be tolerated when the government itself is indicting itself? Like today happens to be the start of day for the sanitation, a compulsory lockdown of Lagos, so Lagosians can clean their environment. But at the same time, Lagosians, after cleaning their environments and leaving the debris on the part of the road, hoping that the government or agencies of the government will come take that off. What you see is that agency not coming to take that out of that side of the road, and everything returns back to the drainage yet again. So who do we blame in this particular case when Lagosians have done what they should do, and rather than the government come take over from where the Lagosians have stopped, they don't see them, and everything starts from square one yet again? And how about Olushosun? That's what I wanted to ask Emeka now. The dump site in Olushosun. Why is it that up until now the government had failed to do anything about it? Emeka, are you back with us? Yes, because I wanted to ask him, why is it that the government, after so many years, Olushosun had remained what it is? The foul smell coming out of that particular place is one thing that no tourist, would endure. for a very long time, especially when going through that particular road. Why is it the government is not doing anything about it? Why is it that that particular dump site had remained a dump site, despite the fact that it is situated in the center of the city? Emeka, are you back with us?
Yes, I'm back.
Yes,
So
Emeka, I wanted to ask you, please, you can follow up on this question while you finish up on your thoughts. Why do you think that the Olusosun dump site had remained an eyesore to Lagos? The foul smell coming out from that place is something no tourist would love to, endure. So why is it difficult to abandon that place, relocate dump site to outskirts of the cities, and maybe reclaim that place and make it better?
Major problems are where will you move Olusosun to? Olusosun is acres of land. Though.
So is it better to have it there, knowing that it's at the center of the city?
I'm coming to something. No, I'm heading to somewhere. The state government said it has plans to, to deal with Olusosun, over time. It is not a knee-jerk effort. It's not something that it can do overnight. It's not something you can do overnight. There's also the Gondo dump site, and managing refuse, it's so difficult. And if the state government, the ordinary thing will be, okay, pour chemicals. The easy thing to do will be pour chemicals on the refuse. Send them my place, but the environmental impact will be so devastating. So. What do? You have to find a way to manage it, and then we hope that in time to come, that maybe Olusosun can be converted to a biogas facility, where the refuse can be converted into biogas. I hope distant time that will be that will be the situation with Olusosun, because Olusosun holds a huge potential, for the economic progress of Lagos State, but you need huge resources to manage such a venture, to be able to proceed to such a venture. I know the state government has been talking about relocating refuse to Ikorodu, but if you look at the way development, rapid urbanization is happening in Lagos, it's massive. It's massive. The way people keep developing new neighborhoods, the way new neighborhoods keep springing up. If you look at the Lagos Coastal Road, Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, estates are already springing up, on the road. I mean, on the portions of the road that have been developed. So that's the way it is. But we hope that somehow the state governments, development partners, civil society organizations can actually find sustainable solutions to this challenge.
But do you think the Ambode style would have worked if it was given enough time? Because he was able to create like cells where refuge can be incinerated, and he did it so awesomely well in respect to how it is done, global practice. But because of politics, it wasn't allowed to see the light of the day. Most of those cells that was built are now becoming an eyesore right now along and around Lagos. So do you think that style or the system would have been better to take care of refuge in Lagos?
No, I don't agree that those stations were abandoned, because I've passed by some of them and they are still functioning. They are still
particularly the one in Agege. Emeka, do you know the one along Agege on your way to Penn's Cinema? That one is now looking like a war-torn building.
Yeah, maybe the state government intends to relocate it. I don't have current information on it, but maybe the state government, intends to relocate, because Agege is growing rapidly. It's a rapidly developing urban area. So maybe the state government feels that having such a having such a facility in such an area, that the conversation may have shifted, may have changed, so there's a need to move it away from there elsewhere, But all in all, like I said, and I'll repeat, Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria. And so one of the major challenges remains refuse and waste management. It's not an easy thing, even all over the world. All over the world. Yes, you talked about the Ambode scape, yes, giving it to a private organization to manage. Yes. It was allowed to be bad by politics because some people gave the impression that, the PSP was providing jobs, to millions of, to thousands of ordinary Lagosians. Yes, but the point is this: when people were not paying for those services, so what was the point of providing the jobs for those party loyalists of the All Progressives Congress? What was the point? The state government couldn't. It was a PSP, public-private sector, public-private arrangement, the PPP. So the state government wouldn't be funding, providing its own counterpart funds and doing the same thing, for the private sector, for the communal, for the people. So that's why they're having problems now. But I know that efforts have been made to get things back in place, but it's a big, big challenge. It's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge. Managing waste all over the world is a big, big challenge. But I hope they will find a way together, because there are also economic opportunities in waste management. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Emeka. I truly do appreciate your time. And the truth remains that I think the Lagos State government needs to get involved more with this. Using technology can be better. The sort of waste that we accumulate in Lagos, 90% are degradable, which means this could be opportunity to even use them as raw materials for fertilizers and whatever input that would help plants to grow, rather than what you see in Europe or America, where some of or most of their wastes are non-degradable. The ones in Nigeria are usually degradable things, and why I think the right kind of persons and the personalities and experts should be involved in cleanliness rather than playing politics with it, like we see happening in Lagos. From Ekpe to Ajah to VI, nowhere in Lagos literally is good enough to have an exterior scene where movies are shot and you would enjoy the environment and the serenity of the area because it is impeccable. You don't see that anywhere in Lagos, which is quite bad as opposed to what we see in other countries and cities around the world. But that is what it is, and we hope that for better days for Lagos and for Nigeria in its entirety. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for your time. I truly do appreciate you as always.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. So we have to close shop right now. We have to go. Thank you so very much for your time. We truly do appreciate you. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and be part of our show. Drop your comments at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Gobike. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on another episode. Ciao.